Hello, 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 everybody. This is Keisha. I am one half of the host of the Regal Mindset podcast show. Jay?
I am Dr. Joy, the coach. I'm the other half of the Regal Mindset Show, and we ready for you tonight.
For sure, for sure, for sure. So tonight's show is being recorded, so that's why you see the recording at the bottom. I had to do some traveling, so we wanted to make sure that we still put out a good show so you guys can help us with this conversation. Tonight, we are talking about love me right or leave me alone. That almost sounds like a song.
It is a song with Fantasia.
Is it really?
If
Oh,
you
wow.
don't, if you don't want me, then don't talk to me.
That's okay.
Go ahead and free yourself.
Yeah, I love that. I love it, right? So tonight we're gonna be breaking down standards, whether it's in relationships or family
Mhm.
dynamics, personal relationships, marriages. And anytime you set those standards or we'll say boundaries even, and other people get offended, then they get in all in their feelings, especially if it
Right.
doesn't align with who they're used to, right?
Hmm.
So tonight's gonna be a great conversation, and we hope that you guys again will continue the conversation, share some of the conversation and feedback you guys get. And if you've ever found yourself in that situation, we'd love to hear about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
right. So, love me right or leave me alone. I can attest to this, and there's many times in my life that I know I have been in relation with, and either they were not capable of loving me in the way in which I deserved, or both of us at sometimes found it difficult to leave one another alone, right? So
Oh,
there's some toxicity there.
yeah. Yeah. Just a little toxic.
But again, as I said, people find it difficult to tolerate and or swallow when you start treating them in ways that sometimes that they treat you. Then they
Hmm.
like I never understood how you mad because I'm treating you how you treat me.
Right.
That
Right.
makes no
Because you
sense.
can't take it because they don't feel that that's how they treating you. And you're like, yeah, I'm literally mirroring what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And sometimes you have to do that.
Right. And I think also when you tell somebody, and we mentioned this before, Iyanla Van Zant made a statement. She said she left her person after 14 years.
Mm,
And as old as she is, you would think, like, why you letting people go? She said, because he wasn't loving me the way I wanted to be loved.
yeah.
And it makes you sit with that, like, wait a minute. I just been accepting how you gave me love, how you showed up for me, and I just became comfortable with that. Not saying that's not what I really want.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what if people had that conversation? How many people would still be married?
Man, what if they knew what they want, right? Because oftentimes
Ooh,
they don't know what they want in order to be able to communicate that, not effectively, right?
right.
We assume, right? We're at, let's say 25, 35, 25, 35. You may not know what it
Hmm.
is or how you want to be loved.
Right.
So when a person is loving you and it maybe feels right or feels comfortable, you receive it, you take it until you realize or come into yourself, right? And
Hmm.
realize, oh, maybe I want something different. Maybe I need something different.
Right.
And I think that's okay to have too.
It is okay once you know what you want.
Yeah.
But I think you go through those years trying to find yourself. It's like us being the young tenders that we used to. We went through different dress styles,
Sure.
we went through different hairstyles, we went through everything until we found the look
Yeah,
that fits us now.
for sure.
And it's like, and to some people of masculine identifying, it's crazy to them because we may choose to we have on masculine pieces with feminine pieces and still be able to stand strong in what we feel and believe. But to them, nah, if you're a stud, you dress like this. No. And we wear pink too.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, things change, you grow.
Yeah.
And so when you're in your 20s, you're growing. You don't know what you want. You know what that last person did to you, and you want that same feeling. Versus when you're in your 30s, you're like, you know what? No, I don't want you to call me. after two. At some point, I have to be okay with no, mm-mm, no, I don't want that. Oh, you stuck up? No, I'm not. No, I'm not stuck up. You think I am because I'm. To me, that's settling.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you at 40, oh, it's absolutely no, mm-mm. And 50, don't even ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
My mind is made up and my heart is fixed.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, listen, I also agree with what you said, and I'll add this as well. Oftentimes when we've discovered those things, right, and we've learned
Hmm.
these things about ourselves and we communicate that, in the moment that the other person is either going to be on board or they can receive what you're saying to them, they're either going to dive in and continue to ask those questions because they truly genuinely want to love you, or they're going to push back because it's not something that they're comfortable with doing or that they desire to do. Maybe that's
Right,
the end of the conversation, or I should say the end of the relationship. And sometimes we have to see it as that. I
right,
desire to be loved in this way. If you cannot meet me where I'm at, it's okay. And be okay with ending the relationship in that way. We don't have to keep going back and
yeah,
forth. We don't have to spend years trying to figure out, well, I want to be loved this way and have to justify to the other person or anyone else why I want to be loved in this way. If
right,
it's different from what it was or how things were in the beginning, it is okay to evolve. It is okay to change. Our love languages, I'm sure. Well, I won't say that. I feel like our love languages sometimes fluctuate depending
hmm.
on the season that we're in,
That's good.
and
That is so good.
that's just fair. That's just fair.
Yeah, and also what growth plateau we're on. Because when you were younger, gifts probably was your thing. When you get the little necklace and you rocking his chain, that was love until he bopped you side your head. But then as you grew older, you realized nobody ever told me I was pretty. So now I need words.
Hmm.
And it also helps you and walk through healing and how your love language is at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, you change, you evolved. You supposed to. And if you don't, something is wrong with you. You're stunted. You're
Yeah.
a dwarf. If that's the case, you stop growing.
Yeah.
And I think you know, we got too many keys to success not to be able to get to a mature level of love and growth.
Yeah.
You can't no longer say, I didn't know. No, you can Google it.
Yeah.
Nine
Chat
times out of
GPT.
10, yeah. Chat GPT, Claude, and 9 times out of 10, you done seen it come across TikTok.
True. True.
So
True.
you can't say that now.
Yeah. And the same goes for us, right? And it's also just as important to check in with your person, right? Now, family
Hmm.
members, they might differ, right? We have a daughter that doesn't want to be called her nickname, at this point in life, right? She's now older. She's an adult. She doesn't want to be called by that name. She doesn't want to be referred to as that person that
Hmm.
we used to, the term of endearment that we used to have for her.
Right.
She's grown out of that. And we have to respect that.
Yeah. And that's true.
Yeah.
My cousin, his name been Poopy our entire life. But he was like, you can call me Clarence. No, you're Poopy.
So you
But
push back.
yeah, 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 I do. No, I'm gonna still call you Poopy. And but I mean the same thing. You're right. My sister did the same thing. Oh, we used to call her Tootie. It's Virginia or VA.
Yeah.
But out of respect,
Yeah.
you got to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm up under my breath, breathing hard. How the hell you gonna tell me?
Yeah. No, I get it.
Because it wasn't comfortable for me.
Okay. And that's, yeah, that happens too. That happens too.
Yeah,
And then we got to realize or figure out, listen, it ain't about me all the time.
right.
And that's for the selfish people. I'm raising my hand here. This happened to me
But
too.
no, but that's the thing. It's like most people don't change when a person tells them they need to change because it's not change is uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Your body. is designed with safeguards and safety features. When you are about to do something different, your body sends doubt. As bad as impact that it is a God given safety feature to make your body stop to evaluate the situation. So it's there for a reason. Same thing if you get too hot, your body's going to do what? Sweat. Even though you're sweating and it's making it hotter, your
Mm,
body is designed to cool itself off when you get over here. When that thermostat started kicking up, your body said, wait a minute. So we have to look at that across the board. Anything that's become unpredictable is a unknown scary place, and it causes you to change. But then that's what also causes us to loop emotionally, mentally, in any situation. You are literally looping. That's why you keep experiencing the same thing,
mhm,
experiencing the same people. Is because you refuse to change. The moment you change by just simply doing one thing different in that moment, you break a hole out of that loop and able to escape. And so, but that's hard
mhm.
because now we want to figure out, well, what if this happens? What if that? Quit. Just do it and try it and see what happens. Worst case scenario, you're gonna lose your hand. What else? You know?
Yeah.
And but and it's bigger in relationships because if your partner come to you and say, I don't like how we're intimate with each other.
Mm,
That worked when we were a couple of years ago. I kind of like that. Now I don't. Oh, so you got a problem with me? No, I got a problem with that last stroke. It ain't you. Well, let's just figure out what's the stroke problem. That's one of the hardest conversations to have
yeah.
because as you're developing, and I can say for me personally, I moved from being sexual to sensual. It ain't all about all of that. I like the other stuff, that the intimate part, the all of that goes into sensuality.
Mhm.
But if I would have said that at the wrong time to an unhealed partner, oh, you want somebody else? Didn't okay. All right. I didn't say that.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
a
said
good
I didn't
point.
want to do that no more.
And you're
It-
well within your right to be able to say that. And like you said, to an unhealed person, it causes a different reaction. So you have to
mhm.
also know your person, right? And when is a good time to have those kind of conversations. Not to say that you should stifle, that part of you wanting to develop or to expand on how you choose to love and be loved. Um,
Mhm.
and the same could go, again, vice versa. Sometimes, especially in masculine presenting relationships, maybe the other person is evolving more into a more dominant person, right? So then what happens there, right? So we got to have a conversation because you can't wear the same shorts I got on. you know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? I
And
mean,
and that happens in
for
our
sure.
community more than aught, where we have our siblings that transition and they expect this level of support and love, not knowing your partner may not want to transition with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Or at the
I
same
don't
time.
want to change my life
Yeah.
because you want to change your body parts
Yeah. That's a good one.
and deal emotionally because it's more than just body parts.
For
You
sure.
want to change how we exist. And I love you and will always be here for you, but that's not what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that has broken up a lot of people because they didn't transition with you.
Yeah. For sure.
I married a woman and I expected to kind of stay with
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
So now that you want to be him, I don't know. And you have to be okay with, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And that could very well be you wanting to be in your authentic self or skin could be the end of this marriage or this relationship, right? Maybe not your intention, right? But
Hmm.
that's certainly what the outcome is, right? So I always
Yeah.
imagine what that conversation was with Chris Jenner and what's her name?
Caitlin.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
What
That
was that
devil.
conversation like? How do
I
you?
could imagine because emotionally, I'm pretty sure Chris had that difficult because now, one, you're embarrassing me.
You think?
Two, I would say because you had this life in the limelight.
Mm-hmm.
You, we had PDA on national TV.
Mm-hmm.
Did you even really want it? Like I would have been thinking all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So those times we were together, when did you decide that
At what point?
we
Yeah.
want you want to have the same thing?
Yeah.
But then I don't even think Caitlyn Jenner identifies as gay or had I don't know what he's transgender. I mean she's transgender. We get that.
Yeah.
But relationship, she doesn't see herself with a man. She
Yeah.
still likes it. When she came out, I remember her saying that. She still like women.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to be one. So you want to be a lesbian? Like I don't know. But I
I,
can imagine some level of embarrassment
yeah.
because now how can we navigate this? I can understand a extreme level of hurt because we've been married too long. We
Yeah.
got these kids. We done built a life together, sir.
Yeah.
And confusion because you're like, well, what impact is that going to have on me?
Mm-hmm.
Because selfishly, you do have to think about that
For sure.
because
For
you got to answer. People want to know what the hell happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
And
know what you think.
not that it's our business, but I will say I
It
think
is.
I think, well, to some degree, only from the aspect of they've been public figures for such a long
Hmm.
time, and now you want to make a change in your appearance and how you live your life and how you show up in the world, and certainly how people address you now. Okay, I get that.
Hmm.
Now, even aside from that, I imagine the conversation, I mean, imagine many conversations. How are we going to address this? How are we going to parent? They're still, I think at that point, their kids were, maybe the youngest one was still needing guidance, right?
Hmm.
How are we going to address the family? How there's just so many things that I imagine them having to discuss and come to one accord on in order to keep some sort of peace among the family, right? If
Yeah.
that peace even exists, right? You've blown up our whole family and the perception of what our family is.
Kids got to go to school.
For sure. They have to live there like grandkids, like y'all don't have a
Yeah.
granddad no more, or any number of things. And kids
Hmm.
can be so cruel. Luckily, their kids have been or old enough to deal with that, right? But what if
Hmm.
you've and then I also imagine like what about Caitlyn? How long did she hold this in, knowing that she wanted to experience or live this life? You know?
This ain't that you just changed colognes. Like you've
Yeah,
been wanting to come out.
yeah. Love me right or leave me alone. I guess that's what
Leave me alone.
she's. Yeah.
And I wonder if Caitlyn thought that Chris would stay
Mm,
because
like a lavender.
more it happens more in the from what I've seen. It
Uh huh.
happens more in the white community than it does the black community, where the husband transition and the wife stays.
Hmm. Okay.
The husband transitioned to
Mm-hmm.
male to female and the wife stays. Now, going from female to male, I that's more common. But when a man is transitioning to a woman and the wife stays in the marriage, in the relationship, while my husband is now my wife and we're walking down and going to Whole Foods together, that's a different dynamic because it's criticized more.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe she was hoping that Chris would stay. Chris is like, no, I like men all the way.
True. True. And you have to be honest with where you are, even though it may,
Yeah.
hurt the other person's feelings.
That's
You
why
only
that
live
divorce
one life.
happened. She was honest. She was like, no, it's not for me.
Yeah. And that's okay. Listen, we want to be able to experience and explore all the things that life has to offer for us. I
Mm-hmm.
often think about this question. I saw this on my social media feed a while back, and they were talking about a poly dynamic. And the one
Mm-hmm.
question he said was, "What if I told you you could only eat your favorite food for the rest of your life?" It's like,
Mm.
huh? And they could, and he was like, "Yeah, that's like a monogamous relationship to me. What if I want fish one day? What if I want pork one day?
Mm-hmm.
I should be able to eat what I want to eat and still love who I want, to love."
Right.
And that made sense to me. That resonated with me from the perspective of, if somebody told me I had to eat one thing for the rest of my life, I'm gonna get tired of that at some point.
I mean, but that's us being married. That's a lesbian relationship. You're literally gonna eat one thing for the rest of your life. So what? I mean,
That's absolutely true. That is
so
true.
it's like we're stuck.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
guess from that perspective. So
yeah.
confusing attention with intention, right?
Mm.
Happens more times in a day than we can imagine, I'm sure. I remember many times as a young, as what you call us earlier,
Young tender.
yeah, a young tender, strolling these gay streets, uh,
Mm-hmm.
looking at the things that were shiny objects, we'll say, right? Just attention here, attention over there, and right. What was my intention, right? My intention certainly was not. I didn't care what they did when they was in the fourth grade and how they developed, mature. I just had one intention. That's
Mm-hmm.
what it was. But as I got older and realized, more about meaningful relationships and bonds and connections with people, hold more of a value for me.
Mm-hmm.
As you get older and more mature. But and from a love aspect, especially in the LGBTQ, oftentimes attention is different from intention.
Mm.
Oftentimes. And
Yeah.
you have to be strong in your mind and in your intelligence in terms of what it is you're going to entertain. If a person
Yeah.
only call you after 10, 11, 12 o'clock, they probably
You
don't
already
have
know what their intentions are.
right, exactly. They don't have good intentions for you. They only
Right.
want the cookies.
It's
But
intentional.
oh, for sure, for sure. So how do we better navigate those kinds of temptations, and or are we just honest about where we are in life, and maybe the other person is with it, or maybe they're not, and if they're not, okay, fine.
Well, I used to get caught up in that. That was because I I kind of feel that I lean more as a demisexual.
Okay.
So I have to fall for you to physically want you.
Uh-huh.
But how I fall for you is you showing me that attention that I never received.
Okay.
So I didn't let too many people in my life because I knew that was a weak part of me that I had not healed from.
Okay.
So when I got caught up, it was because this person showed me the attention that I was missing in my marriage and in my relationship.
Okay.
So it wasn't intentional,
Got it.
but it did happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not physical, it was more emotional. Well, it was all emotional, but I can pinpoint how it happened because if I call my wife and say, "Hey, I like the color blue," I ain't got time for this. Yeah, you always got something going on. Hang up the phone. But this person saying, you start wearing blue every day because you heard me say, I like
Mm.
the color blue. And that's how it continued to go. And now it's, oh, let me bring you lunch. Oh, and so then now I know, hold on, pause. I don't need the food. I'm good. I'll starve today.
Okay.
When I used to be so easily manipulated because I'm thinking you're being nice. I'm thinking you really just trying to be my friend, not trying to fill on my left butt cheek.
So
I
you can
didn't.
the attention with the
Yes,
okay.
100%. And that was from an unhealed place.
Okay.
It was also from a place of I did not open up where the gaps to my spouse and where the gaps were.
Okay. Lesson learned.
Yeah, lesson learned. Now, now I'm closing all gaps, and you mad because I told you how I felt. So pick which one you want.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like-
yeah. I get it.
but it's easy. But then, but when you recognize those intentions, how you show up, I recognize if a young lady is saying, "Hey, I'm gonna bring you something to eat." No, no, you're not, because I know where you're trying to get to. Is certain food get you can speak to love through somebody's belly. That's showing you care
Mhm.
because that's how I show I care. I make sure you eat. I'm not, and no, I don't want it, but that's just naturally me. So
Yeah.
I know that that might be an entry. So I'm responsible for stopping that. So it's just a growth and maturity of it, understanding like, okay. And even in our good gay world, one of our frats, and I hope she see this because I loved how she did it. Somebody was trying to knock on their door late at night, and she was like, "No, we setting good intentions over here. You can't come in." And I was like, "Hey, come on now, I would have let her in now. Come on." But she was like, "No, I got to prove a point. Them doors are locked after 11.
Mhm.
It's easier to do it in a heterosexual situation, but in a lesbian situation or a gay situation, no, we got to have boundaries. No means no."
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved it though.
Yeah.
It was good. She was like, "Oh, we setting good intentions." I say,
Yeah.
"Dang,
Yeah. I love that. Yeah.
I
No.
love it."
I love that example. I wish that I had always lived in that light. Unfortunately, I did not, and that's okay.
Hmm.
I fully enjoyed life. I was, I'm still friendly to some degree. And sometimes for me, that gets me unnecessary attention, right?
Uh
But
oh.
it's
Yeah.
also not my intention to get that, right?
Right.
But why do I need to change who I am to make somebody else comfortable, right?
Yeah. Now, for you, I don't think you have to change who you are to make somebody comfortable. You really don't be seeing.
Right.
You be like, "Oh, and I just bought a hamburger." No, she fixed that hamburger, gave you some French fries and a drink, and she did it butt naked. Frat, open your eyeballs. Did not the naked part kick in? You're like, "I didn't even pay attention." Then you
Right.
pull your glasses down. I didn't even see it. So you have to be protected because you
Yeah.
ain't gonna see it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
And
That's true.
yeah, so it's like you have the best intentions, and it's like they're not going to have the best intentions.
Yes, yes, that's also a good point because there's people that's going to be watching and be like, "Yeah, that's happened to me," Yeah, I can see how
Hmm.
that, absolutely. One thing I would say is you got to have those people around you though, right? Because you got some of those people who going to be on your shoulder, man. Oh, knock that down, whatever.
Yeah, I ain't gonna tell nobody.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
yeah, yeah,
I ain't
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to bail nobody out or come to a funeral. So I'm like, yo, no. Mm-mm.
You got to be careful who you got around you. Absolutely, absolutely. Uh, setting versus self betrayal.
Mm.
Settling, I'm sorry, versus self betrayal.
Betrayal. That's a
Wow.
big one.
Yeah, for sure. Um the only thing that comes to mind in terms of settling is is when a person doesn't know, right? Doesn't know. Like you can flat out ask them, how is it that you like to or you want to be loved? How you want to receive or how do you receive affection and connection, right? And they don't know, right? Perhaps they,
Hmm.
like you said, they're unhealed and didn't realize that they were unhealed or don't know those
Hmm.
things about themselves, right? Versus self betrayal, right?
Hmm.
I'm denying myself the full experience of loving and being loved because the other person doesn't know quite how they want to be loved.
Right.
And my response is, you got to figure that out. I can't. Who am I to tell you what you should? You know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna
Right.
resent me at some point because
And that's it. You
really,
said the key word.
uh,
Resentment will set in,
yeah,
especially if it goes wrong. Resentment will eat you alive. And if you feel like you're settling, it's best to go ahead and end it
that part.
and reevaluate what part that you're feeling like you're settling for.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're going to look at that person and it's going to eat you every day. They're going to become uglier, stupider, fatter. You're going to call them everything that you originally loved about them.
Yeah.
But when a person is mad and they're hurt, because that's a mad hurt. When they're hurt, you're going to realize you was really ugly to them the whole time. Because that'd be first
Absolutely.
thing, your ugly self.
Yeah,
That's the first
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
You
Well,
can't come back and tell me I ain't mean it. Yes, you did. That was the first thing that came up.
absolutely right. And that's truly how you feel. The other side to that is that even in the dating stages and the discovery and just getting to know one another, you'll find those things out if you spend that time, right? If this person
Hmm.
really truly does not know how they receive love, how they want to be loved, and they can't communicate
Hmm.
that, hey, you know what? Maybe this, just put a pause in or a pin in this relationship, and just,
Hmm.
until you figure things out.
Right.
Circle back. I shouldn't say circle back. I'll say, if you guys figure that out and you all want to continue to move forward, then fine. That's, do that. But that's, in my opinion, that goes along with deal breakers, the stages in the
Hmm.
relationship where you're figuring out if this is something that you truly want to continue to invest in, or if this is just the end of the road and you guys part ways until they figure out who and what it is that they want out of life, and you continue on your path, because
Hmm.
everybody's not going to arrive there at the same time.
But I don't think adults, I've seen kids act more mature
Mm,
in those scenarios than adults.
mm-hmm.
Our 13-year-old was dating this little girl and he was so nonchalant about it. And he was like, yeah, we broke up. And we was like, are you okay? What's going on? Do we need to go beat this little girl up? He said, no, we just feel that we're too young to date. And we're going to wait until we're in high school. Yeah, we couldn't have did that.
Right.
Why you leaving me? You don't want me. You running down the street barefoot, breaking windows and popping tires.
Yeah. Three
I
flats.
said, yeah, I think some of these younger kids, and I ain't talking about Generation Z, talking about the ones after y'all, they are a lot more emotionally mature.
Mm.
I've seen that. They handle things different. Like now we're in the I'm crashing out. That's that Gen Z. But
That's what it
Gen
is.
Alpha, they ain't crashing out. They're like, I don't want no problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like you can't even control your own emotions. It was this little guy on TikTok that went to the McDonald's window. You might have saw it. And the lady gave him too much ice. And he's spazzing out. I said no, too much ice. I said I'm thinking in my head, it's ice. I don't think they
Oh,
have
some
the
more.
level. And it's like I'm seeing that generation that's doing the I'm gonna crash out.
Yeah.
That's just how I am. They're doing the most. And it's like, that's what's wrong with y'all. Because you don't even know how to control that emotion.
Woo. Yeah.
And you can't fight. That's the other part. You
Yeah.
can't control your emotion and you cannot fight.
All bad.
And then you let people on live pump your head up. So
Yeah.
you can't fight. You can't control your emotion, and you got a false sense of pride because these people on your live talking about, oh, I wouldn't take that. No, you're going to take it. So it's shocking that Generation Alpha is showing more maturity than Generation Z.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was gonna say, Gen Z take things to a different emotional level, right? So they really have no concept of leave me alone. Like it takes longer for them to break away from a situation. Everything is such a it's either a 10 or a 0. I gotta love you and love bomb you from day one. I
Right.
don't need to know your middle name, but I love you to death. Like, come on.
How?
Yeah.
When?
And they don't, there's no in between, there's no slow burn, right? There's
Mm,
no process, right? They just go from 0 to 10, and they have no idea how damaging that is, especially if you go from 0 to 10 in a 12-month calendar year with seven
mm.
different people. Come on.
Right. Right. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I listen. I forget the names. I don't even worry about names because it's gonna change next month. So what's the point?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the point?
I agree. So I would say the difference between the generations is perhaps they're looking at the generation before them and figuring out that that doesn't work, and how damaging and hurtful it is to your self-esteem, and to the person that you trying to emulate after, how it just doesn't work, and maybe they've learned
Right.
that lesson, I'm hoping. But yeah,
What?
somewhere we
But
failed
they
in other
look.
things.
But they're making that determination from an immature place.
Hmm.
So it doesn't work because you don't know that experience on why it didn't work.
Mm,
So it's almost like we have to give grace to where our parents didn't know how to parent until they got us, and then they was trying to figure it out.
mm-hmm.
So you got an experience that made you make a lifelong decision on how you're going to respond, how you're going to act from a situation that you're not even rightly dividing. Same thing like when it came down to with my mom
Mm-hmm.
and our healing. I had to heal because I saw how her mama treated her a few times, and I said, I get it. I can forgive you for that because you really didn't know any better.
Mm. That's big.
Then when it was stuff that I knew she could have did better,
Mm-hmm.
now you gonna have to own that. But for years I walked around damn near hating her
Mm.
because I didn't have that level of maturity
Okay.
to have my eyes open to see she really couldn't help that, and she did the best she could,
Mm-hmm.
even if it involved giving me away.
Mm-hmm.
I realized that was the best she could. So a lot of people are not even looking further than how it impacted them in getting some type of coping mechanism or defense to handle the situation. We're not even giving each other that. We see it all the time, even how people are these young people on Facebook or TikTok talking about my mother gave me up for adoption. I'm going back, and it was a guy, and I'm going back to see why. And she cussed him from A to Z. She told him, I did not want you,
Mm.
but you're making her tell you why. And she's telling you, but because that is not good enough to you, you're that can't be the reason. She told you she didn't want you. Whether you got there by force, she didn't tell you. All we know is she was forced to have you and she didn't want you. But you're trying to make her love you. How? How? Why? So now you're putting yourself through that. And why? What are you getting out of it?
Yeah.
So we don't know those boundaries, especially this younger generation, because they want to force you to take accountability for a level of hurt they put themselves in.
I see that a lot.
They don't know how to walk away because the first time when she said, I don't want to meet up with you, I did not want you, and it's best that we stay away. You should accept that and moved on. Now you got social media showing up this woman's house, showing up her job, all of this because of you. And that's how it happens across the board. We only deal with it on how it impacts us.
That's crazy.
So if you settled, that's your fault because you had the opportunity to saying, I can stay and see if it gets better, or let me go ahead and cut my losses now
Hmm.
while we can still be cool.
Yeah, if we can be cool. There's
If
been many relationships where that's exactly what I would say. Listen, this is not working, and the
mm,
other person generally will say, "Well, what if I'm not okay with it right now?" Well, you got to figure out or find a way to be okay with this.
hmm
And sometimes the other person is not going to be ready. They got
right,
to figure it out.
figure it out.
Yeah, they gotta figure it out. And in all honesty, and again, transparency, I have been in that place, we started the conversation. I have been in that place, in a toxic
Hmm
relationship with going back and forth, going back and forth. Neither one of us could let each other go.
hmm
Damn it, at some point, somebody got to go, but
Right,
it takes a long time to break up sometimes, but it has to happen.
especially in our world, it's like
Sure.
so
I don't know
elongated,
why. I don't know why lesbians take so long. It don't take long to get together.
so quick to get
You
together,
bothered.
but so
Yeah.
long.
Okay. Recognizing emotional inconsistencies very early.
Mm. Ooh,
So, short story. When I
I
was
love
in
your stories.
my, gosh, I was probably early 30s, right? I was dating this much younger girl. She was over 21, barely, but she's around there.
Right.
So anyway, I knew for me, we were just casually seeing each other, and I explained to her, she was in college, and I
hmm
explained to her, listen, I by no means want to hold you up. I've already lived a lot of life. I've already been where you are. Go ahead and do what it is that you need to do, and I'll
hmm
do my thing. We just casually see each other if we want to, when we want to, or what have you.
hmm
Emotionally, she was not ready to have that kind of relationship, right?
Right.
And because I knew what not exactly what was going to lay out or how things were going to work for her, I just
hmm
continued to encourage her to do what she needed to do, because
Right.
I didn't want to get too far or too deep into a relationship or anything with her, because there's nothing we don't have anything in common
In
with one
common.
another, other than we
Right.
enjoy spending time with each other. There's other people that we can spend time with. So
Yeah.
my point in saying that emotionally, the inconsistency can sometimes be people not being honest with where they are and seeing things from what they truly are. You're at the beginning of your life. I'm like close to the middle,
hmm
and I have different goals and different aspirations and things that I want out of life, and you have no idea.
Right.
What are we gonna do? You know? And I just couldn't
Yeah.
be honest with her. Hopefully she appreciated that. But she, eventually went and did whatever she was doing. I went on about my business. But sometimes that's how it happens.
And you have to let it be. And
Yeah.
we've all, I think, in our younger tenderoni years, we had a little young tender that we was like, oh, she pretty, nice little arm candy, and knowing good and well, she aggravating the hell out of me. I did the same thing when I was in Georgia. You know, everything went down in Georgia. I even let her move in,
Ah,
and I kicked her out when I came home and she had a flower centerpiece on my dining room table. That was my breaking point.
wow.
Yeah, because I'm like, first of all, this is black lacquer. Why would you put anything on it? Then you pulled it across, which means you had a scratch. Yeah, she had to go that night. It was
Okay.
over.
Yeah.
She was shocked. I was shocked, but my locks was changed over my table,
Yeah.
and we was okay. We was cool.
Hmm.
It was my. I don't know. It just that it did something to me,
Yeah.
and it was red plastic flowers.
Oh,
Don't do that.
how could she?
She did.
She didn't know. She didn't know.
She found out real quick. Her mama was so mad. That's wrong. No, it's my table. Yep.
Yeah. Well, listen, you gotta do what you gotta do.
You got to do.
Yeah. Here's
It
another
ain't need about love. It's about furniture.
oh, well, Yeah, in that case, it was. We've all had our furniture stories.
Right.
The danger of dating potential. Man, we have some fraternity members who have said just that. One of them even said, "I married potential." He said that. I remember. It
Oh God.
was like,
How did it turn out?
it didn't. They divorced.
I'm about to get up and leave.
Okay, listen, that was crazy to me. She said, "I married potential,"
Hmm.
and I learned my lesson. Listen,
But
mm-mm.
you know what? We've all been there because
Sure.
you want to see what that person, you see the potential in that person and you get so captivated.
Mhm.
I get it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then when they don't meet the mark, you mad and resentment kicks in because you're like, I thought it was like, well, that wasn't my dream. You know what? You're right. That was my dream. I can't even be mad at you no more.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
done happened so many times. Like, you know what?
Woo.
That was all me. I
Yeah.
can't even be bad. Yeah, look, your sins have been forgiven. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. Absolutely. Same here. I remember when I first met the young lady, I was with someone else. And the moment well, we had been broken up for a while, but the moment I was able to reach out to her, I told her. I called her and I remember she was dating somebody and I told her, I said, I don't care what y'all got going on. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you that I'm on my way. I'm moving back to this place. And when I get back there, whatever point y'all end y'all relationship or end whatever y'all got going on, I'm telling you I'm pursuing you. And she got mad at me. She blocked me. She blocked me on social media. She blocked my number and everything. I was like, "Shit, okay." And then fast forward years later, I found her. So this was back. Oh man, this was back in the first time we connected. Well, I reached out to her was when they had Black Planet. That's how I was able to message her. The next time they got Facebook. So now she couldn't block me on something that didn't exist at the first time, right? So now on Facebook, it recommended. Oh man, we lost her. What happened? Okay, it recommended her and I inboxed her again, and by this time, this relationship was over with. So we started, talking and communicating or whatever. And we ended up I have a very short relationship, but what I wanted wasn't what I needed. Man, I went.
Oh
If I
God.
can't get rid of that fast enough, it's always a reason.
Jeez Louise. Listen. Hey, move on. You're like, you know what? Lesson learned.
Yeah,
That check
man.
is only gonna bounce once.
Mm, 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 mm. So sometimes what you want ain't what you need.
Right.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned. It's your
Okay,
stories that just kills
man.
me.
Listen, sometimes I don't even realize I don't remember them until we're talking and having say, "Oh, yeah," and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, this is definitely that moment that I need to share that."
Right.
Uh,
Right. I love it. But no, I
yeah,
get it.
and she was another one. I told us, listen, at some point, maybe not right away, we could be friends again, because we were friends for years,
Hmm.
but yeah, it wasn't gonna work. And she told me, she said, "I don't want to be your friend." Well, okay,
And you're like, wait a minute.
yeah,
You don't want to be my friend. And then
yeah.
you're like, well, it
Yeah,
is what
we
it
can't
is.
be friends. Okay. And like I said, listen, I had to swallow that. That's how she wanted it. That's what you got. Still to this day, we ain't friends. Okay, fine. Hey,
You got to be kidding me. She was serious about that. You hurt that little girl feeling.
listen, she'll be all right. And,
Come on, look.
right, it's a couple people that they just like after we no longer deal with each other. Like, listen, I'm not blocking you. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna change my number. I'm just not gonna deal with you. You know what I'm saying? They want to block
Right.
you. You can't see them on social media. You can't follow.
Oh my God.
I ain't got
We
time for that.
literally just had this conversation the other day. I don't have the energy to block you.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not finna look for you because 9 times out of 10, when I go on my social media, it's on my page. So I don't see half of the stuff you do it anyway. I don't have the energy to block you. Not only that, it's like I want you to see the table that's spread before me. I need you to be able to see the goodness that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-mm. And then
Mhm.
when I find out people block me, I'm like, dang, it was like that. You that mad?
They be in their feelings, man. I ain't got the time. Yeah,
They be in
that
they
was
feeling
why
straight
I
up.
actually cared. I don't care. Listen, they gonna be who they gonna be, and that's fine.
Right. Like, what do you want me to do?
Okay, choosing alignment over comfort. That's another good
Mm,
one.
that's a good one.
In terms of loving me right or leave me alone, we have to go with what is in alignment with what we want to ask God for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and how we want to show up in the world and who we attract, right? Uh, Not to say that the wrong people aren't going to show up because they definitely will, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as long as we stay connected to whatever our spiritual connection is or who that spiritual connection is, and we continue to seek their guidance, then we can to some degree weed out the people who aren't supposed to stay around
Mm-hmm.
versus just
That's good.
what's comfortable, right? I've had some comfortable relationships, right? Not necessarily were they the best for me or did I grow in terms of becoming the best version of myself, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe it taught me some things that I needed to know about myself.
Right.
Definitely, I could say that about a lot of the relationships I had.
It was a beautiful growth.
Yeah, yeah. Some of them I wish did not last as long as they did, right?
Mm-hmm.
um because I feel like there's some lessons or the lessons that I learned didn't take 10, 11 years, 9 years. Maybe I could have learned much sooner.
Wait a minute. What?
uh,
Okay. I mean, a learning curve, you know.
right, well, but a part of that is the comfort, right? You get comfortable in relationships and you don't want to disturb anything or start having new relationships and new families you
Mm-hmm.
got to meet and new ways to that this person needs to be
Right.
loved and affection and so like it's just I'm just comfortable in this, right? And so being
Mm-hmm.
comfortable is never going to be good. You're never going to grow, right? You're not going to get to the best version of yourself being comfortable. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and
Right.
that's where the growth starts.
That's so
So
good.
that's why I say it in that way. I wish I did not learn the lessons that I learned in such a long period of time, 9, 10, 11 years, versus maybe I should have or could have learned it in a much shorter time frame. But I learned it in the way that I did, in large part because a good portion of that was I was in the military, so I was gone, a lot anyway. And the time that we actually spent in the same home was much shorter. So I could have learned those lessons that the things that I needed to learn in that time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it just took longer. So and maybe
But it was still the perfect time.
yeah. Yeah, it turns out.
Yeah, it would still be the perfect time
Yeah.
because it's like, even though we could have put it on a different timeline or be like, oh, I could have been much further. No, you couldn't have. You needed that experience. You needed everything you learned.
Mhm.
Excuse me. And it happened the way it needed to happen. It
Mhm.
happened perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So again, we got to weigh what's comfortable for us and
Hmm.
determine whether or not um how much comfort or how long this comfort period is going to last before we disrupt this behavior and start the healing journey and that growth
Hmm.
that comes with that, right?
Right.
Gotta evaluate the things that happen in that relationship, right? Whether it's a
Hmm.
partnership with an employer, partnership with a significant other, it could even be family dynamics, right? What
Hmm.
what things didn't work? What things didn't feel good to me? What things that did I learn about myself? What have I swallowed that I didn't need to swallow?
Right.
Right? How could I have shown up better for this person? How could I have asked them to show up more consistently or better for me?
Hmm.
And those are some of the questions that we could ask. And then we've got to be committed to disrupting that behavior so that we get out of that comfort and start moving
Yeah,
towards the growth. That
towards the
just makes
growth.
sense for me. Yeah, absolutely.
No, it makes plenty of sense, and I think you eloquently, eloquently stated it,
Yeah, thank you.
and gave points on how to move forward.
Yeah, yeah. Because the longer you stay in that, in my opinion, then you start to shrink yourself.
Oh
And
yeah.
then now you have, self awareness, self image that you have to work on, not just
Hmm.
because of some of the things that you may have swallowed during that relationship, but now you have to say, okay, now what is it about me that allowed me to be comfortable for such a long time?
Right.
I need to sit with that and figure out what those things are. And I need to heal that part of me, right? That didn't recognize some of this behavior and some of the things that were going on in this relationship and why I swallowed some of the things that I swallowed.
But it takes a lot of people a long time to get there because at first, when it happened, you go on the blame game. You're
Yes,
like, you hurt me, you did this, you did, and they're like, maybe I'm the problem.
possibly.
Maybe I'm the problem. And
Yeah,
then when you really sit there and be like, yep, it's me. I can't even get mad at you.
yeah, yeah. Well, for when I was younger, like younger in terms of in high school and like
Hmm.
in college, I didn't want to have committed relationship. I didn't want to commit to anything or anybody because I just wanted to be free and live a life and enjoy life as I wanted to. Whatever relationships we have were on a transactional or maybe a convenient basis.
Come on,
And that's just
transactional.
it's just what it is. And I promise you, I'm not gonna get upset or mad if you're out with someone else. Have a good time. I'll
Right,
talk to y'all later. I'll talk to you later or at some point. Yeah, and don't act like we're not because we are.
right.
And that's just what it
Like,
was.
don't play us. Don't play them games.
Yeah. And so maybe my nonchalant attitude about relationships is what the reverse of that. Like, okay, in my past, I would normally just dismiss and move on and, just kind of casually excuse that, relationship or friendship, whatever it was. And then it got to a point where it's like, it definitely is me. If I'm the one who doesn't want
You,
to
you the
commit,
problem.
who doesn't want to actually get to know this person on a different level other than what we already have, then yeah, it's
Hmm.
me. And that's okay. So maybe there's some work that I need to do. And in doing that work, it triggered for me a stay and swallow these things a little bit longer because
Hmm.
normally your behavior is get out of this.
Right,
Rocks. It was nice seeing you. It was like,
right.
whatever it
Like
is.
I can move on.
Yes. So that has been my truth and for a good portion of my life, anywhere from I'll say 16 all the way up to 34
Hmm.
maybe, you know, 35 even maybe. That's how it was. It was like nonchalantly, casually, whatever. And then until maybe 24 to 35, it was like, okay, let me
Hmm.
figure out how to relate to people.
Right.
You
Not related.
Yeah, yeah. Because the relationships was like, man, who got time for that? You know,
Right.
it was just me. I wasn't making the time.
Hey, but you figured it out,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
I
all that
figured it out.
matters.
Yeah,
That's a level of maturity we all need to strive to.
for sure, for sure, for sure. So, do you got anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, I love this topic,
Yeah,
and and we have to get to the point where it's say you can love me or leave me,
yeah,
and I'm okay with it.
absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely.
what's that other person that sung the song? Blame it on me. Said was that Chrisette Michelle that said blame it on me? Say it's my fault as long as you leave.
Yes, And we have not heard from Chrisette Michelle since.
Ever since we
Yeah,
killed the over the Trump situation, and we ain't killed nobody else. But that's a whole nother argument.
yeah, absolutely. You're right. So one other thing I want to say is drop one of the standards that you refuse to lower for anyone.
Mm,
We would love to hear what those standards are. So drop them in the comments, either on whether you're on YouTube or you're watching us on Facebook. Uh, let us know what that is. So love me right or
looking
leave me
forward to
alone.
hearing about it.
Yes, yes. All right, Jay. So the next time we see each other, we'll be live. Yeah, we'll be live.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Y'all have a great weekend, and we will see you next time. Take care.